Hey y'all. All right. I got a question for y'all. Can you forgive someone who have abused you mentally, physically, and broke you down emotionally? Can you forgive that person? Can you forgive that person if you went to prison behind it, but you were the victim? Yeah. Well, that's my story. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of why I went to prison. Okay. For those of you who are in a situation to where as though you need to get out, and it's domestic, men, this is including you too, I would advise you, my dog want to start barking, I would advise you to make a plan, talk to somebody about it, uh, go to a group if you can't talk to family members, some kind of group, to where as though you can come up with some type of escape plan. Now, it's not easy for domestic violent victims to just get out of a situation for numerous reasons. You know, first thing a person will say, "Oh, you stupid for staying." Well, they don't know the circumstances of that. So they can say what they want, but until they in your shoes, I suggest they be quiet. So I no longer consider myself a victim. I consider myself a survivor because I survived that shit. I'm telling you, I ain't gonna even lie to you. So let's get down with the get down. Well, me being vulnerable, okay, looking for love in all the wrong places. Yes, that's what I did. Look for love in all the wrong places and ran into the wrong motherfucker. The wrong one. Not the right one, but the wrong one. I should have stayed my happy ass where I was at and not took no number at the gas station or not gave no number at the gas station. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason. Shit just be set up like that according to God's plan. So, anyways, I was with somebody who was for the streets, in the streets. Um, Not only that, this person had a mental illness. He is a paranoid schizophrenic. My goodness. If you could deal with a person like that, God bless you. Okay? Because that is one hard person to deal with if they suffering from that type of mental illness. Nobody deserves to be abused, mistreated, misled, or treated as if you was nothing. Let's just say that before I even get started with the rest of this video. You don't deserve that. So I'm serious when I say make your escape plan, because it's only two things that will happen if you stay in this situation: prison or death. Get out, get help. Now, I met somebody. We moved kind of quick, getting together very quick, shall I say. Didn't waste no time, which that was red flag number one. Okay, shouldn't have did that. During that time, he did tell me, "Well, Corona, why do you like me so much?" I'm like, "I don't know. I see the good in you." Even though he was a street dude, I ain't never really dealt with one of those before until then. He was like, "Why do you like me so much?" He was like, "I ain't shit." I said, "Stop saying that. Why would you say that about yourself? I see the good in you. Why would you say that?" He said, "Because I'll fuck up your life." I said, "Why would you say that?" Red flag number two. I said, "No, I see the good in you." And I said, "Everybody can change. Everybody can change." Well, that was confirmation. The dog just confirmed that. Not everybody can change. So, like I said, we moved really, really, really quick. Okay. And I was feeling him. He was feeling me. At this point in time, I was staying next door to my mom, and my mom was, lived upstairs. I stayed downstairs. So he was coming over, and during this time, he was on parole. Now he had a curfew. He was supposed to be home, but it was one day that he decided that, I end up having a seizure. And that day he stayed. He stayed a night and stuff like that. Well, I'll be good googly. His parole went to his mom house. Parole officer went to his mom house looking for him. Red flag number 3, parole. So confirmation. So he caught a violation, y'all. And I'm like, oh my goodness, we just getting day. What we gonna do? Caught a violation. So he was going back up for a little while. And I think it was probably about 40 some days or whatnot. So what do you do? What did I do? That's my man. I'm going to stick beside him. Red fucking flag number 4. That was already a key for me to get away from this fool, but I disregarded the red flags. Okay? Because I knew this fool was kind of cuckoo. He didn't even wait 6 months to show that. But I'm like, shit, I'm cuckoo too. We could be cuckoo together. Anyway, that had a message. So that was my cue. I didn't go nowhere. I stayed. I did those road trips up and down the road, up and down the road. Um, Going to see him, stuff like that. Well, he comes home. He have to go back to his mom's house. Parole said he couldn't be paroled at my house. And that was for a reason. So you see how all these signs was right there, and I failed to really pay attention to those signs. Yeah. Now, it was one night he asked me, "You want me to cook for you?" I'm like, "Yeah, what you cooking?" So, I was at my mom's house by this time now, and I'm sitting with my mom and the kids and everything like that. I'm like, "Yeah, what you cooking?" So I forgot what he said, but he was like, "Yeah, but I should be done by later time." Well, I fell asleep and he was calling me. So finally, it was like around 11 o'clock. He was like, "Is you coming? I cooked dinner for you." I said, "Yeah, I'm coming. I'm on my way." He made steak, as a matter of fact. So I was like, "Yeah, I'm on my way. Let me just pack up my bag real quick." So I packed up my overnight bag and I head over to his mom's house. Now, before I tell you about this story, now, days prior to that, okay, he was using my car. He was driving and everything like that, my car. And I didn't mind me being clever, you know. And People, I didn't really pay attention. I was so naive to my surroundings because I never had any problems. I didn't have to worry about nobody following me and things of that sort. But then I started noticing cars, like same cars following me. And what really made it stand out is one night I was left his mom house and I was coming back over home, going up to my mom house, and I must have nodded off or something. And something just told me to wake up. I didn't even know I fell asleep. Something told me to wake up. And I see this guy just looking in the car. Now he dressed too fucking nice to be in this area. Okay, way too nice. So I'm like, that's kind of weird. Why is he looking over here in this car and he dressed in those type of clothes? I mean, it's late at night. It's like 2 in the morning. Only a crackhead is being out at this time. Then it was another time. Now, because I told him I'm like, yo, somebody, it was weird. Somebody, was looking in the car and staring at me. He was like, how they look? I said, they was light skinned. He said, kind of tall. I'm like, yeah. He was like, what I want you to do is I want you to start spinning the block a few times before you go in the house. Um, and make sure that you pay attention to your surroundings. Excuse me, y'all. That you pay attention to your surroundings. I thought that was odd, but I'm like, all right, because this is a street dude. He said he did a lot of shit. He ain't tell me what kind of shit, but he said he did a lot of shit. So I'm like, all right, you have been driving my car, so I guess they know, and thinking that it might be you in the car. Another day. It's late at night. I'm getting ready to go to my mom's house. I see a van. They parked across the street. Somebody getting out from the back. Now, my mom, her legs was bothering her, so it took her a little time to come down and get the door. So I seen him walking mad fast. And he was coming towards my way. So I start banging on the door. I'm like, Mom, open the door, open the door. Soon as I start saying that, that's when he turned around and they skated off. All right. So I told him about that incident. Now let's go back to the part to where as though I said he was cooking dinner for me. Okay. So it's 11 o'clock. Now I'm over to his mom's house. Right. I'm heading over there. So he tells me, all right, call me when you on your way so I can be looking out. And then call me when you outside so I can come out and meet you. So I'm like, okay. So I pull up in his mom's house. Okay, during that time, I think I had a Chrysler. Okay, the Chrysler truck, Pacifica or whatever. Um, I pulled up to his mother house or whatnot, and I'm in the driveway. So I'm calling. I'm like, okay, I'm out here. So he was like, all right, I'll be right out. Next thing you know, somebody comes slow rolling in a black car. And now I pay attention to my surroundings because now I know that some shit going on. So my antennas go up. And he comes out and I said, do you know a black car just rolled by here mad slow? He was like, black car. I said, yeah, a black car just rolled by here mad slow. He was like, get your shit. Come on, let's go. So I'm rushing to getting shit because he's telling me let's go. Some shit about to go down. You know when a person start doing all that, you're on God. So, child, the black car came back around. And before I can get anything out, he said, Corvin, is this the car? And I'm like, is this the fucking car? Next thing you know, I'm looking in the barrel of a fucking shotgun and boom. I thought I was dead. I ain't gonna lie. I thought I was dead. They tried to kill me right in front of his mama house. I thought I was dead. I fell to the ground. He pushed me to the ground, as a matter of fact. I was down by the tire like that. Good thing he came out prepared. Okay. So it didn't even give them enough chance to even try to fire off again because it was a lot of fire going back and forth. But him, my guy, was hitting the car. So they skated off. I was in shock. Okay. I just laid there on the ground. I didn't came up out my shoes. His brother come open the door with whatever, whatever. And, you know, all I hear is brother say, sis, you hit? You hit? I'm in shock. I can't say shit. A nigga just tried to kill me. Excuse me. But just tried to kill me. And then he was like, babe, you hit? You hit? So they both grabbed me. He was like, come on, let's get her in the house. They start checking my body. It's like, all right, nah, she ain't hit. I was in shock though. So his mom come down, she rushed down. She was like, what happened? And he tell her, and she goes to get me some type of sedative to calm me down or whatnot. So I got calm, and I was like, why is these people trying to kill me? Why are they following me? He said, he paused and he said, I did something. And his mom was like, you need to tell her. I said, tell me what? Why are they trying to fucking kill me? Well, I guess something had happened with a school teacher. And I guess they was trying to rob a school teacher or whatnot. And the school teacher ended up dying. Well, somebody wanted him to take the rap because they had to, you know, it was identity messed up or whatever the case may be. I don't know. So many lies. But the person wanted him to take the rap, and not to say nothing. So the people, he kept telling the people them that like that wasn't me. So ultimately, you know what it boiled down to. He snitched. But shit, that was a murder case. So I don't know. I don't know. But from that day forward, there was a price on his head, and he had also robbed a big time drug dealer for a lot of money. And it was a lot of money on his head. So they didn't care. They was just like, if we can't get to him, we gonna get to her. She close to his heart. So we gonna hit him where it hurt the most. Okay. Now I'm scared. I'm locked in the house. Not really going nowhere. If I went anywhere, it was storing back. He was always in the car. He always had the car. Me and my kids was at home. By this time now we living together. When I was always staying in the house. We had to move down the street from where his mom used to stay, and it was a friend that actually had owned the house, and he talked to the friend, and we ended up getting that house. So he wanted to move me from around my mom. I'm not paying attention to none of this. But when them people tried to kill me, I should have got my ass up out of there. So I have to be held accountable for the things that I didn't do and the things that I did. Okay. I still have to own up to my own shit because we all have free will, and I could have left then. But here I am. That's my man. Yeah. And I'm going to stick beside him. One day y'all going to stop saying that shit. Okay. So now we moved in together, and man, it was just fights after fights after fights after fights. I'm not about to just lay down and let somebody just whoop my ass. That's what I'm not going to do. But still, He shouldn't have been putting his hands on me at all. Okay? Shouldn't have been putting his hands on me at all. Did my kids see it? No, he did it when my kids wasn't there, like at school and stuff like that. But the way he talked to me, not only did, he physically, emotionally, verbally, he was just an abusive ass person. And I'm like, okay, he is a paranoid schizophrenic. He's not on medication, but that's no fucking excuse. That was no excuse to treat me the way that he treated me. So one day I had gave him some money or whatever to help him, try to help him get on his feet or whatnot. But I'm paying all the bills and everything like that. He ain't got no job and stuff like that no more. Okay? He ain't got that no more. When he did have it, he was giving me money and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I'll return the favor. So I was taking care of everything. So then I gave him some money to get on his feet. Okay? So he got some work. You see how these red flags is all over the place? You see how we tend to ignore all of these red flags? Yeah. Ignoring those red flags to get you in a shitload of trouble. So, one day I ran short of money. My kids needed school shoes and shit like that. They needed sneakers. I knew he just had some money or whatnot. And I asked him, I said, can you get my kids some shoes? Because they need some shoes and I didn't pay all the bills. So I'm like, yeah, I ain't getting them shit. I don't play about my kids. I do not play about my kids. Okay? But I ate that one. I said, you know what? All right. So don't even fucking worry about it. It's cool. We argued, and he was like, just don't fucking talk to me. I said, no problem. I won't. I won't say shit to you. Nothing at all. So the next day, he still want to argue. He want to take the car and shit like that. And I was like, no, I got something to go. Got places to go today. You're not taking my car. Well, he got mad. He just snatched up the keys and said something. And I must have said something. I said something real smart. Pissed him off. And he took a closed Pepsi can and shot that shit at me. It hit my arm. I ain't say nothing. I ain't want to fight. Just like, what the fuck ever. Just go. Just get the fuck away from me. Now, I know y'all saying, why did you stay? Why did you stay? You should have just left. That was stupid for staying. Well, let me explain something to you. Actually, I did the smart thing because I said I got a fighting chance with him because he loved me to eventually get up from under him. But if I left him, I almost got killed. Who's going to protect me from them? If I stay with him, who's going to protect me from him? Where would I go? So sometimes you can't just say, oh, they stupid. I would have left. I would have got from under there. Da 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 da. I would have had my family come over and da 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 da. Sometimes you don't want your family in your business. Sometimes you don't want to tell them that because you're ashamed. Sometimes, you don't want people to know something like that. They never seen you go through nothing like that. And to see that you're going through something like that now give it a lot of naysayers stuff to talk about. And at that time I had too much pride. Way too much pride. So let's keep going. Um, I still wasn't saying nothing to him. He comes in, pockets are ripped. shirt all red. And I just looked at him. Because the same day that he threw that Pepsi at me was the same day that he stole my system out my car. Yeah. So I ain't say nothing. So, talking about, he just came in and said, yeah, those niggas just jumped me. They took all my work. They did this, they did that. This time I'm looking. Let's start back watching TV. What the fuck? You ain't gonna say shit? I said, no, you told me not to talk to you. So quick. He grabbed that 12 gauge. Bitch, I'll kill you right now. I just looked. I said, if you don't get that fucking gun out my face, get that shit out of my face. Then he took the shit, popped me in my mouth. I'm bleeding. And I'm like, oh, bitch. Oh, bitch. Well, after that, I called my peoples over, packed up the whole house. We was gone out of there in 5 hours, okay? 5 hours. We was out of there because he took off, he left. I had my car, whatever. Yeah, let's go. Get me up out of here, okay? So I put everything in storage and I go over to my niece. My niece is, she let me in, she helped me. He found out where I was at. I was there for 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks. Found out where I was at. He come knocking on her door. Now, me knowing him, I tell her, you know what? I'm going to take the kids and I'm going to go. I don't want to bring this problem to your house because I know he's a fool and he will shoot up your house. And I do not want anything to happen to y'all because of me and him. So we just gonna go. Okay. And we left. We went back. But I never took anything out of storage. And I never put anything back up in that house. It was little stuff that was there. But I'm like, no. Only things that we gonna take is these beds that we sleep on. That's it. All the other furniture is staying in storage. Okay. So we end up back there, okay, more miserable than I was before. It was just crazy. I started to not even like the person I was then. I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, you just pathetic. But you see, that's how he made me start feeling about myself. you know I was just looking at myself and say, you just pathetic. Look at you. You pathetic. I started blaming myself. you know well, eventually it was my last straw when the police failed me. How did they fail me the first time? Well, it's kind of hard to share this story, but I'll share it with you. And I kind of figured that they was gonna do this to me because at the time he was my boyfriend. He was my boyfriend at the time, so I'm just like, this is gonna be a hard one. But one day he had came in the house, okay, me and him arguing again. It was more bad days than any good, okay. We arguing again, okay. And I'm just at the point like I'm not about to even argue. You just come in here, do whatever you got to go do, and just go. okay, just go. Because by that time, I was already in the process of looking for me and my kids a place. It was just taking a lot longer than what it should have because I'm trying to take care of the bills and everything like that. I didn't have a job. I'm Me and them, they living off my survivors benefits, because my husband, when he passed away, that's what I started receiving. Um, so that's what we living off of. So it was hard as hell to try to, and I wasn't getting no assistance. So it was hard trying to do that. But it was like I was a prisoner in my own fucking home. Okay. Me and my kids, we was happy when he was gone. Okay. Uh, so one day he came in. I don't know where he had came in from. I didn't care. But he knew I had somewhere to go, so that's why he came there. And he was coming to bring me the car. So I didn't say nothing. I was on my way back upstairs. I was dressed. And I made it to the top of the stairs because he was like, come here. I ignored him. I went upstairs. I made it to the top of the stairs before he ran up there. And he was a big guy. Okay, when I say he was a big guy. Okay, he pulled me by my belt, the back of my belt, and pulled me backwards down the stairs. Well, I I ended up falling on him, and he fell too. So he upset that you made me fall. This and that to the third. And he started trying to undo my pants. That's what you want. That's the fuck what you want. And I'm holding my pants and I'm like, get off me. Get off me. No, get off me. So finally, he did the unthinkable. And I know y'all like, some people are like, how is that rape and that's your boyfriend? Well, I said no. No means no. And I damn sure enough didn't expect anybody to sodomize me. I called the police. The police come there. By that time, he didn't took off. He left. But I knew he went up the street to his mother's house. And I let them know he is up there. Okay. He did this. He did that. He did this. He did that. I still had the bruise from the Pepsi can, like all that stuff. I'm like, he did this. He did that. He did this. He did that. So they said, okay, we're going to go down there and we're going to talk to him. Good. Thank you. Thank you. I'm thinking they're going to really help me. They comes back and says, well, he's telling us a different story. And if you're lying, I said, lying? I said, you could take me to the hospital. I'm not lying. He said that you only mad and you trying to get him locked up because you found out that he was cheating. I said, well, what? Even if he was cheating, I ain't know nothing about that. I said, that he's lying. They said, well, if we find out that you're lying, so if you're serious about this, then you need to go down to family court and get an order of protection. And they left. So then my mom started coming over to stay with me, and I had to barricade the door to keep him from coming in and stuff like that, hide my car, a whole bunch of stuff. It was just crazy. I tried to get him served with them papers, and his mom got cameras so they can look and see that the police at the door and don't open the door. Just a whole bunch of bullshit. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I just cannot get rid of this guy. Well, you can't get rid of him. Finally, I found a place, y'all. Finally. And I'm like, you know what? I'm moving. You can have this house. I'm Mm-mm. So of course, he want to come in and he want to start being nice and start doing this and babe this and babe that. He cooking. He's. I'm like, okay, maybe he's trying to change. I love you. Give me a chance. He proposes to me. Y'all ever been slapped into a proposal? I don't even blame you. Go ahead and laugh, baby. I don't even blame you. Okay? But anyways, so we end up moving. He end up coming with us. Okay? New place or whatever. So I'm figuring, okay, new place, new start. We can, and it started off good. It started off really good for a second. I'm like, okay, yeah. So it came around the time, I had tax money or whatnot. Um, I gave, once again, I gave him money and I was waiting for, during this time, the Xbox 360 was out and I was waiting for the PlayStation. I believe that was maybe 4 that had came out in 2013. Yeah, I think that was 4. So I was waiting for that to get that for my kids for Christmas, but they was all sold out. They didn't have none anywhere. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna wait to get their Christmas stuff. Okay. So I had that money. Now my fault was he asked me to get him some heat. I got it. That was my own damn fault. So long story short with that, I noticed he just started acting mad weird. I called my mom and I was just like, Mom, if anything happened to me, just know that he did it. She was like, What are you talking about? Stop talking crazy. I said, Mom, I'm serious. I felt it. I felt it. I'm like, this man about to kill me. Because I didn't want to be with him no more. I said, this man about to kill me. My mom said, Girl, stop talking like that. I said, Mom, I just wanted to let you know. She's like, where he's at? I said, I don't know, Mom. I don't even question that man about where he go anymore. I just don't care. And I didn't. I didn't care. So one day I said, you know what? I'm gonna take both of my men out to eat so we could talk because I need more help around this house. I need some help. Okay, with the cleaning, taking the garbage out, this and that to the third. Well, I guess when I was sitting down we went to Red Lobster. He carried that thing everywhere, everywhere. So we at Red Lobster and I'm just talking. I'm like, I need help. I'm cleaning. I feel like I'm the only one who's doing something. I pay the bills. I do this. And he just came out of nowhere and was just like, shut the fuck up and bit me in my face. The manager, whoever that person was right there when he did it. So he looked, he was like, Ma'am, do you need some help? And he was like, No, she don't. And I said, Yes, yes, I do. Well, he ended up walking out. Okay, I had my keys because I was the one who drove. So the doors was locked and everything like that. And I'm in the bathroom trying to clean myself up because you know, I was bleeding a little bit. And the officer comes in there. They had called the police. The officer comes in the bathroom where I was. And, of course, she asks the questions. Do you have any weapons? Do this and that to the third. And I said, yes. Because by this time, y'all, I was just so fed up. It was like, well, I've been fed up, but I'm just like, please just get him away from me. Just get him away from me. I'll do anything. You get him away from me. And So she took down a report and stuff like that. She was like, "What, do you want him arrested?" I was like, "I just want him away from me. I just get him away. I just want him away from me." It's like, dude, this dude is crazy, obsessed, insane with me. I want him away from me. So I go home because I told her that he did have weapons and he usually carry it with him. I opened up the glove department and it was right there. Right there. So when we get home, I make sure I grab that out the glove department. Okay. 3 city cops end up coming to my house because the lady was concerned. And it was out her jurisdiction. So she had to alert other officers to come, and check on me. So I get there and they knocking at the door, and the first thing they said was, "Is he here?" I'm like, "No, he is not," because he wasn't. I was like, "I don't know where he at. He had left walking." So they was like, "And you said he got weapons?" I was like, "Yeah." They said, "Is anything here? Because we can take it from you right now, and you won't be in any trouble or anything." And I'm like, "No, there's nothing here." I lied. The police failed me already the first time. I wasn't gonna let it happen the second time, so I lied. So 2 o'clock that morning, I guess he comes with his cousin and he's knocking at the door, and I'm like, "Your things is already sitting right there." He was like, "I know, but could I just come in and talk? Could we just talk?" And I'm like, "I'm tired of talking. I'm tired of talking." And I guess his cousin had to get ready to go to work or whatnot, or was just getting off of work and was tired. And I was like, "I'm tired of talking. Just go. Just get your stuff and go. Could I please just come in and talk? Could this just be my last night? Could we just, you know, and I promise you, in the morning I'm gone." Fine. But in the morning, I want you gone. Worst mistake I made, all right? Because that morning, when he got up, he was ready to leave, but he was not leaving without that. That was his whole intentions, was to get that. So, my daughter was going to school. My son stayed home that day. My daughter was going to school, and I used to hide my money. Okay, I had to. It got to a point to where so I had to start hiding my money. So I had my money. My money was in my boot, but I must took my boot off, and not paying attention, numbing myself, and so I'm not in the right state of mind. And the money must have fell on the floor. I didn't notice. He didn't notice because neither one of us went back out into the living room or whatever. So my daughter found it and she come to me. She was like, "Mom, is this your money?" I was like, "Where was that?" She was like, "It was on the floor." I was like, "Yeah, put it in my drawer." So she put it in the drawer. That was my kid's Christmas money, mind you. So he gets up. Now he was like, hey, yo, where that's at? I was like, "Where is what at? Where is that at?" I said, "I don't know what you're talking about. Stop playing with me. Where is it at?" I said, "I gave that to the police. Okay? I gave it to them. I'm not playing around with you no more." And he was like, "You gave it to them." So he started tearing up the room and stuff like that. And I'm just like, "Oh my goodness, just didn't you say you was getting ready to go? Just go." So he tearing up, he looking, and stuff like that. And he opens the drawer. He said, "All right, well, I'll take this." That's when I say, "So and so, give me my kid's money." I ain't gonna say his name. I was like, "That's my kid's money. You know that's my kid's money. Give me my kid's money." So he's still putting it in his pocket. So I said, "You know what? All right, I'm calling the police." I'm on the phone with the police. Next thing you know, he's like, "Bitch," grab me. Now he's choking me. Okay. The lady, the lady on dispatcher is like, "Hello, ma'am, ma'am," and I was like, "Oh, he choking me, he choking me." So finally, he get off of me, and now he's running out the house because he know that they coming. And I was like, he was choking me. He's leaving out the house with my fucking money. The lady still saying, "Ma'am, ma'am." I threw the damn phone down and I went and grabbed that heat. I ran behind him. Now we in the driveway and I call his name. First time. So he kept moving. Second time. So give me my kids' fucking money. He kept moving. The third time. Boom. Oh, that heat got hot because I was firing. He ran up the street and I'm barefoot in the snow. It's February. Tank top, no coat, just barefoot walking in the snow. Running behind him, trying to chase him. When I say I ain't never seen a big dude run so fast, that mother became a track star. He hard ass. Hard ass. So I'm thinking that he's in the store, and I walk in the store, and I got the thing in my hand. And I'm like, where he at? By this time, I done blacked out. I'm in that mode now. Okay, I'm in beast mode, and I'm like, where he at? And they was like, man, we don't know where. Who's at? Who's at? And I'm like, where he at? And it was like, nobody here. Nobody here. So I go outside and I'm looking. It was a guy, and I never forgot him. I never forgot him. I always remembered him. And I wonder where he at now. But we was Facebook friends and stuff like that. But anyways, he walked across the street and he was standing right there outside. And he was like, man, look, I don't know you, but you can't be out here like that. And I said, he was like, he gone, baby. He done ran up there somewhere. And I just broke down and I cried. And he just wrapped his arms around me. He was like, I know you don't know me, and I would say I would take that from you. But I'm just going, I know you don't trust me like you wouldn't trust me like that. So I'm just going to give you my hoodie. He took his hoodie off and it had pockets. He was like, now, go on and go put that up. But by the time I get home, it's 10 fucking cop cars. The street is blocked. Now I'm walking fast. So the cops came and then his mom pulling up. And I'm walking fast to get to the house. And the officer looks at, man, was you the one who called the police? And I was like, I don't need you now. And I'm walking in the house. But I'm not thinking, you guys, I'm not thinking. All I remember is my son is in the house. They outside, they banging on the door. I couldn't think. I was under the influence. I couldn't think. My mind was I couldn't think to just put shit away. So I went outside and I hopped in his mom's car. Now the officers are standing in front of the house. There's a witness out there. So they're talking to the witnesses. But his mom, I got in the car and I was like, I'm crying. I was like, I don't know if I hit him. I don't know if I hit him. He took off. He was running. I don't know if I hit him. I don't know. I don't know. She was like, what happened? I said, please, I got this. Babe, I gotta put this somewhere. This is his. This is what he wanted. Take it to him. Give it to him. And I put it in her glove department. I'm like, this is what he wanted. Take it and give it to him. Give it to him. Give me my kids. I just want my kids' money back. Officer came to the window and they said, ma'am, we got witnesses over here and said that you were shooting. I was like, shooting? I wasn't shooting nothing. So he was like, ma'am, you got anything on you? I was like, no, I don't got nothing on me. But in the back, I didn't know she was back there saying. So next thing you know, he's like, ma'am, could you step out the car for me? I was like, for what? So I get out the car. He tell me, stand in the back by my car, by the trunk. So I go back there. He was like, ma'am, is it okay if I search your car? Right then and there, I knew she said something. They got the gun. My son is in the house by himself. He watching. He don't know what the hell going on. By that time, I think around that time, my son was like maybe 14 or something like that, 14, 15. He didn't know what the hell was going on. He just like, oh my goodness, my mom going to jail. So he at the house by himself. I didn't get a phone call. I couldn't contact nobody really because, I didn't, all my, I had called, but I had my phone while I was in the car. And I was talking, and then the police came and snatched my phone. I was trying to tell my sister, I'm going to jail. Come get my son, get the kids. I'm going to jail. And, he comes over and snatched the phone. And then the guy who gave me the hoodie, this dude had tears in his eyes and was just shaking his head at me. I just couldn't do nothing. I was so ashamed. I just put my head down and I just cried. I was like, I know I'm not getting out. Well, yeah, the investigators, I end up going with them, and um, you know, this shit is crazy. Cause a motherfucker coming there telling me about, he said, what is the damn things called? Weasels or it's some shit that they called. I don't know. But he come in there, he tried to hit ferret. He was like, you know about ferrets? I was like, no, I don't know about ferrets. He was like, my son got a ferret. He's like, you want to hear about it? I was like, yeah, I'm crying. This motherfucker got me to tell my whole story, the whole truth, by talking about a fucking ferret. A ferret. But see, I got out of that and they threw that away. They did a 730 on my statement. So they couldn't use that statement against me. They did the 730 on that. Anyways, I was facing 18 years. Okay, y'all? I was facing 18 years. I was devastated. My bill was high. I ain't had no $10,000. Shit, he just took 2,800 from me. Let alone bills being paid and everything like that. So I didn't have no damn $10,000. Well, let me make this a little bit more, speed this up here so I can get to the point. Anyways, I did 7 months in county. I still try to, keep things together because I wanted my kids to have a place. So I was still trying to, with my survivor's benefits that was keep coming in, I was still trying to make sure, he like, I'm here with the kids. So I'm like, okay, we cool. We trying to make, you good. No, he went back with the kids. And then my sister tell me, oh, I see him driving, da, da, da. I called and that's when he said, yeah, I fucked up. I said, you know what? Just get your. I called my sister and had my sister shut shit down. Well, of course, the furniture, everything was there, But she took the kids. She took my kids to my mom's, and little by little, stuff just came missing up out the house, TVs and everything. So it started with all my furniture, everything from the plates from each place that we moved to was mine. It was mine. He came with nothing. Nothing. Okay. Mine's. Crazy part is I came in with everything and came home to nothing. But that's okay because God took care of me and restored that and much more and still blessing me. Okay. But anyways, so Karma got a funny way of rearing her ugly head when she want to. Okay. Because he ended up getting the case. He ended up getting locked up. And how I knew, he wrote me a letter. And I wrote him back. And, we was in the same, facility. So the officers, once I was in there for 7 months. So by this time, they know who I am. And they know me by first name. Um, I can make up a little care package or whatnot from, my commissary, and they'll take it to them and stuff like that. So, yeah, I was doing that. Being nice still, my heart's still good. I ain't let nobody change my heart. First I used to say I curse this heart that I have. Now I don't. Now I don't. Okay. He gets out on bail. I ain't hear no more from him. Nothing. I continue to carry on. But let me tell you, God is a jealous God. Okay. When I say God is a jealous God, all this time, throughout all of that time, so much had went on, y'all. It's so much in my life that y'all don't know about. Just know that I don't look like what I've been through. Just know that all this time, was protecting me. I passed out behind the wheel of a car, crashed into a snowbank. I didn't even know. I didn't know. He protect me from that. I OD. He protect me from that. This man was about to kill me. He protect me from that. His enemies was trying to kill me. He protect me from that. It was getting to the point that I was being so reckless and self-sabotaging. He had to sit my ass down. He said, you know what? You doing too much. Let me sit your ass down. I didn't like the way he set me down, but it was for a good reason and a good cause. Now I got more close to God. During that time, I couldn't see. I trusted in God and I believed in God. I had faith in God. It still, but I didn't give him my time. And that's the thing. God wants your time. So that's when I started giving God more of my time. And I had to ask God for forgiveness because, like, you was talking to me and saving me the whole time, and I couldn't even save myself. So I started praying. I got into my Bible. I bought a radio. On Sundays I listened to um, my gospel, this and that to the third. And one day during prayer, God told me to fast for 3 days in 21 hours. I was obedient. I fast. I fast. That was before I had to go to court. That time I went to court, they had a deal on the table. Actually, no. The DA didn't want no deal because they knew that they had me. But the judge stepped in because he was like, um, he was like, Miss Brown, Miss Brown, you can have a regular trial, you can have a bench trial. And I'm like, well, what is a bench trial? He was like, well, I would be the one to determine, you know, your sentence, or, determine guilty or not guilty, instead of having a jury. So I'm like, nah, I go with the bench trial. I wrote the judge, my kids wrote the judge and everything like that. So, the judge had became fond of me, and he even told me that. And that day I went to court, and he said, because I was trying to fight, I was expecting to get off. Okay. So he said, he was like, Koran, you and your lawyer, I never seen a judge do this before. Let me talk to you guys for a minute. He got off his seat, went to the back. So basically, he called me, my lawyer, and him to the back where his chambers was. And he sat there and he said, he said, Corvana, I honestly, I highly suggest you take this plea. I was like, but why? He said, I don't never tell nobody this, but I'm going to tell you because I see something in you, okay? And I see that you don't deserve this. He said, but you go to trial, you're going to blow trial. So I was like, what? So right then and there, I'm like, so I know I'm going to prison automatically. I know. I'm like, it ain't no way of getting out of this. I'm going to prison. So I'm like, okay. He said, you think about it, and you think about it, and he gave me another court date. So finally, I asked my lawyer. I was like, can you ask him if he can lower the bail? My mom them was in the back. Oh my God, my supporters, my mom, my sister, they was in the back, and my kids. So they was in the back, and I said, could you ask him to release the bail? I mean, lower the bail. So that's when, because I was asking for 7 months, could you get him to lower the bail? So that's when God showed me that too. After I fast, God showed me that I was going to be walking out the door and going home. Right after I fast, He showed me that. So I asked at the perfect time, because I had a court appointed attorney, and he said, Your Honor, um, I'm requesting that, bail be lowered at this time. The DA said, well, I, no, we will recommend that the bails still remain at, basically they wanted the bail still to remain at 10,000. And the judge looked at me and he said, Miss Corvana, well, he said my government name, but Corvana is my spiritual name. But he said, Miss Corvana, who are you going to be going with if you get out? Who are you going to be living with? I said, my mom. I looked at her, said, my mom. He was like, okay. Bell said at 2,500. Y'all, when I say God is so good, God is so good. He's so good. He's so good. Because that's exactly how much my check was. That's exactly how much my check was. God released me. For 9 months, I stayed out. with my kids. I was able to get them together. I started, I had me a boyfriend because I started dating my friend who we was friends for 7 years before we started, dating. So, that was my boyfriend. And, it was crazy because I tried not to fall in love with that man. But I did. He's an older guy and stuff like that. And he was a really good guy. And, when he like every court day, he was right there. He was just there. He was there for me. And he showed me genuine love, and that gave me hope. I'm loving again. Like I'm like, yeah, I can do this. I can love again. Cause I thought I'm like, I'll never ever do da, 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 da. That's it. I'm not. But that gave me hope. So I believe God sent him my way to restore hope and love. Like, don't give up on love because, you deserve it. Well, y'all. So the ex, when I get out on bail, he coming around, he calling. I've been dodging him and stuff like that. But finally he ended up reaching me. And, that's when he tell me he didn't call the case. And he was like, yeah, you know that James Brown, because that's what the court appointed lawyer name was. I was like, yeah. I said, that's my lawyer. He was like, yeah, I got that nigga too. I said, that's conflict of interest. How you got him? And he was like, I don't know. They just gave me him. And I went and talked to my attorney. I said, you got such and such a such. He was like, yeah, I met him and he's quite a character. I don't like him. But I'm like, but you his attorney. So I try to get a different attorney because I'm like, how you gonna be working for me and working for him at the same time? But when I called, the people told me, yes, it is a conflict of interest, but it's for him, not you, because he's in your paperwork. You're not in his paperwork. If you was in his paperwork, then you would be able to change the lawyer. It's him who's supposed to change the lawyer. And he didn't change the lawyer because he seen that he was working for me. All right, y'all. Anyways, it was my time to turn myself in and stuff like that. And my boyfriend, I let him go because I'm like, you're a man and I don't want you to be sitting up here waiting for me and doing this and doing that. I had to do 3 years. I didn't want that for him, but I was facing 18. So, hey, I'll take the three. I take it in stride and I do what the hell I gotta do. Okay. It was the hardest 3 years, but I did it. I did it. I trusted in God. God got me through it. Okay. For real. It was hard, but I did it. So, anyways, now he going to trial. He's taking his case all the way to trial. I end up getting justice anyways because I'm already up starting my time. But remember I said I was facing 18 years? Well, he let Mr. James Brown, the James Brown who saw all my tears, who saw how hurt I was, who watched my mother cry, watch my mother break down, he saw a lot. My mom just said my baby, and I'm the baby girl. My mom was so hurt, and he seen that, and so he took it to trial. Well, I guess He blew trial, karma, and guess what he got? I got the 3 of the 18, and he got the remaining 15 years. Now, ain't that about nothing? Yeah. Now, did I forgive him? Absolutely. Did he break me? Absolutely. That man broke and hurt me to the core. I had to be taken away from my kids. My kids suffered. But you know what? I said, I had to think about it. If I can forgive a man who I don't even know, never met a day in my life until that day in court, if I can forgive this man for taking my husband away from me, it was an accident. He killed my husband. If I can forgive him, why should it be so hard for me to forgive the person that I actually do love? Everything happens for a reason. This was a lesson. I was supposed to be taught something. Because through it all, what was for my bad turned out for my good. Because if had God didn't sit me down and save me and teach me patience and how to be humble and, still instill that forgiveness and faith and hope and stuff like that in me, if he hadn't have did that, I, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. I'd be dead. And that's a whole fact. So he saved me from a lot. So can I forgive? Yes, absolutely. Did I? Yes. Funny thing is, I also know how it feels not to have nobody be able to pick up the phone when you call. Your family can't put money on the phone. You're not able to talk to nobody. You're not able to reach nobody. You worry, especially you got kids out there. I know how it is. I know how that feel. I know how that feel not to get a letter. You waiting to see if the CO is gonna call your name out. I know how that feel. So once he reached out to me when I was out and he was in prison, we talked about what happened. He had got married and everything. And I said, I explained how bad that he hurt me, but I said, I forgive you. And I still got love for you. And the best thing I could do for you is be your friend. That was 6 years ago. That was 6 years ago. Almost 7. And since that moment forward, it was right when I got home. I've kept money on the phone for him to call in case he need to reach out to a family member. I sent cards. I sent letters. Even sometimes I even sent money. Because I know, not the fact that I was being stupid and being a sucker. Not because I wanted them back. No, because I know how hard it is to be doing that time alone. Yeah, you got people around you, but you're still alone. I know what it feels like. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. And at that time, he was the enemy. And I did not wish that on him. So he still called. I still got love for him. Uh, he got what, about 7 more years to go or something like that. And, I pick up the phone. We don't talk nothing about getting back together. We don't talk nothing about that. We don't even bring up that past anymore. Because you know what? I forgave and I forgot. Because when you come from a healed place, you can do that. When you hold on to all of that stuff by remembering it, that causes PTSD, and it calls for you to always keep that in the forefront of your mind, and it will hold you back from living your life and with another relationship, because you're going to always watch out for little things in the next person that the last person did. So when you come from a healed place, you're able to do that, do what I did. And it takes a strong man or woman to do just that. And I believe that you are strong to do it too. So that's why I ask, can you forgive after something like that? Is it possible? Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can be a friend. Did I let it stop me from wanting to love again? No. I'm open to it. And I'm waiting for it. I'm ready. Everything happens for a reason, y'all. We all got a story to tell. I have two stories when it comes to forgiveness, but we only gonna do this one for now. So let me see what advice I can give to you all before we wrap this thing up. And remember, you guys, if you enjoyed this testimony, this story of forgiveness and redemption, like the video, show some love. And I hope that this story, my story, touched somebody out here, gave you hope, and let you know that you are loved. Know that you are loved. Be real. Let your fears dissolve. And last but not least, forgive. I shuffled those cards, and those was your cards that came out at the end. I love you guys. I wish y'all nothing but the best. Please like, thumbs up,